So today we're going to take a look at the Raphael fighter from the Unmatched games. And of course, Raphael is from Unmatched Adventures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael is the turtle that probably gets the most emotional about things, kind of loses his cool sometimes, kind of likes being a loner and going off and doing his own things a lot of the time. He is paired up with Casey Jones, who is a character that is often paired with Raph because they both kind of get each other. Casey Jones is a guy that has like a bunch of sporting equipment that he takes in to fight the bad guys. So he has like baseball bats and golf clubs and hockey sticks, and he wears a hockey mask. But this is one that as soon as the set was announced here, everyone knew that Casey was going to be Raph's sidekick because they are quite so often paired together. You can see here on the card back that we have the manhole cover turtle back design with Raphael's size, which are his signature weapon. Everything in red with his color, and Casey Jones' hockey mask to represent the sidekick. So Raphael is a melee fighter with a health of 17. He's a big beefy turtle. Casey Jones is a ranged fighter because of his various sporting gear. He has a health of 8. They are a move of 2. His ability is anger issues. On each of your turns, the first time you lose combat, gain 1 action. This basically gives you 3 actions a lot of the times, because if you lose, you just gain an action on there. And since that's the ability, they can't really cancel that outside of like an end turn. Also important to point out here, on each of your turns, the first time you lose combat, gain 1 action. Since this says you and not Raphael, that means that applies to Casey Jones as well. So if Casey loses combat, you do gain an action from his loss as well. So we'll take a look at Raphael's deck. Turtle Power. This is a Turtle common card. It is an attack of 3 with a boost of 3. During combat, you may boost this attack. This is just a boostable 3. And we'll see in here that Raph has some good boost values. So this could be great. If you are throwing this out there and you haven't lost a combat yet, and they end up throwing some really big value into it, rather than throwing something and just barely getting one over, you might find it better to go ahead and just not boost it, because you may boost. It's optional. Go ahead and lose the combat to go ahead and gain that action and throw something else at them. Unbridled Rage. This is an attack of 3 with a boost of 4. During combat, discard any number of defense or versatile cards. Add +2 to this card's value for each card discarded that way. So this could go up to something here. You could discard any number of them. So this could be like a finisher that could go up to something pretty big there. You know, you throw like some low attack and lose, throw a second attack at them, and then throw this one with your gained action. You know, you could potentially run them out of defenses and have something really big here. If you haven't lost the combat yet and you're throwing this, it's very much like Turtle Power, that 0 is any number, so you could decide to just not throw any into it and go ahead and lose. Although, don't know that's a card that you really want to be losing. Additionally, it is worth pointing out that you can throw this into a Turtle Power to make Turtle Power a 7. You would want to know that you're like really putting some damage in there. So like if it's an undefended attack and you threw Turtle Power, maybe you want to make it a 7. Also worth pointing out that Casey does have some versatiles. So if Casey is defeated, those cards are definitely Going to be discard fodder for Unbridled Rage. Let's do this, which we can see this is one of Kevin Eastman's alternate artwork cards here, which has his signature on it in foil. I really like the regular artwork here since Casey's on the motorcycle a lot. Raph just dragging the side. That's an awesome visual. This is an attack of 1 with a boost of 3. After combat, draw 1 card. If you win the combat, draw 2 cards instead. Hey, this is a regroup. It's just an offensive only regroup. It's just an attack. So yeah, it's a regroup. But remember, Raph is okay throwing out a bait attack early and losing it. So regroup is great for Raph. Also, this is a boost 3. You got 3 copies of these, so this is great to throw into like turtle power. And it's also worth pointing out that if you lose, you draw the 1 card, so not only are you going to gain the action from losing if this is the first loss of your turn, but you're also going to draw the card from it there because these effects still happen whether you lose or not. So that is great. Heroes in a Half Shell. This is a Turtle Common card. This is a defense of 5 with a boost of 2. It has no effects on it, but you don't need any effects on a defense of 5. Most 5 defenses have negative effects on them, so it being blank is perfectly fine. I would not throw this card away into Unbridled Rage unless you are going to be finishing off the fighter. You really want to keep Heroes in a Half Shell. That's just like a really strong defense. Psy, you have 2 copies of it. This is out of Elektra's deck. Each of the turtles has a card that is named after their signature weapon. So he got Psy, which was the already existing card. This is a versatile of 4 with no effect on it here, which means he has 4 cards that have no effect. Versatile 4, hey, I mean, that's not bad. Just the 4 being a 4, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Break Something, which is some of my favorite artwork out of this set. Just his reflection on the broken glass with like the skyline outside. That is great, especially with this color scheme that they use. I like that they've got mainly black and white with red highlights and a little bit of green there on Raph. And a very kind of grayish green as well, which really goes into this color scheme. This is a versatile of 2 with a boost of 1. Immediately, cancel all during combat and after combat effects on your opponent's card. After combat, if no effects were canceled this way, deal 2 damage to an adjacent opposing fighter. And so this doesn't cancel immediately's, which most fighters, there aren't like immediate leads that you're really worried about. If this is an attack, you wouldn't cancel an immediately anyway, because the immediately would have already happened. But it's nice that if all the card that you threw this into was like an immediately effect, assuming that immediately is not a cancel, or if it was just a blank card, like, a log from Bigfoot or something, you just deal 2 damage to them. And if you were to throw this as an attack and they were to throw something into it, I'm trying to think what has immediate effects that wouldn't cancel this. Something like Raptor's Decoy, a few other things there, but those would let you get the 2 damage through. And remember, if it's an attack and you lose, still cancel effects or deal the 2 damage to them. So you can still get something out of there for that anyway. Raphael is cool but rude. This is Raphael's line from the 1987 show's theme song. This is his foil card, like it is for each of the turtles. Their line in the theme song is their foil card. Deal 1 damage to each opposing fighter adjacent to at least 1 friendly fighter. Draw 1 card. Okay, so in regular 1v1, that is going to be, you have 2 guys there, so it's going to be each opposing fighter adjacent to Raph or Casey. Important to point out here, it is 1 damage to each opposing fighter adjacent to at least one friendly fighter. It is not 1 damage for each friendly fighter adjacent to that opposing fighter. So if they are adjacent to multiple friendly fighters, they still only take 1 damage. Now, in Unmatched Adventures, you have a lot of friendly fighters, and you could be dealing damage to most all of the opposing fighters out there if they all happen to be adjacent to somebody. So this is one of the cards, with this being an Unmatched Adventure set, that is much stronger in UMA than it is in regular Unmatched. Going into Casey's deck, Batter Up, an attack of 3 with a boost of 2 after combat. If you won the combat, move the opposing fighter up to 3 spaces. Well, this is going to be a great card for you here, assuming that you haven't lost the combat yet this turn, because if you win, you get to move the opposing fighter. Remember, Casey is ranged, so he could end up pulling the fighter in. If you lost combat, well, you gain an action. So that can work really awesome for you there. You should be getting something one way or another there. Slap Shot, a versatile of 2 with a boost of 2 during combat. If Casey is adjacent to the opposing fighter, this card's value is 6 instead. And there's not a lot of reason to throw this into someone that's not adjacent to you. I mean, okay, you might do it to lose combat and gain an action, but is that worth doing it? I think you'd just rather throw a 6 at it. The only thing is, because this card exists, if Casey comes up adjacent to you and attacks you when he's adjacent, most fighters are going to throw a cancel if they have it, or some sort of big block to try to get rid of that 6 that's on there. So it might be good for you to bait some attacks as Casey when you're adjacent, even if it's not Slap Shot, just to try to pull out a feint. And we're getting into the innies. Crowd Control, an attack of 2 with a boost of 1. After combat, draw 1 card for each adjacent opposing fighter. Deal 1 damage to each of those fighters. So this just throws a lot of damage out there to everybody. You draw cards on it. It's only an attack of 2, so a good chance you're going to lose, which is bang, great for your ability. This is another reason that if Casey is adjacent, that they may throw feints into him, because besides Slap Shot, they might have Crowd Control going there. But once again, if they throw a cancel into this, you're losing, and you're probably gaining the action, and you'd probably rather have that happen on this one. But you could use this as either Raph or Casey. And the great thing is, if you lose, you still get the card draw and the damage. You just get the action gain on top of it. Relentless, a versatile of 3, boost of 1 after combat. Shuffle this card into your deck, then draw 1 card. Well, as a 3 defense, this isn't too bad here. It's a defense that's going to show back up. So, you can always have these coming back unless they get feinted. You should be getting it back. As an attack, you'll probably lose with this, which will send it into your deck, draw you a card, and gain you an action. So that could be pretty cool. Also important to think here, if you play this when you don't have any cards in your deck, you play this card shuffles into your deck, is now in your deck. You then draw a card, which would be Relentless, and it would go back into your hand. It's a decent thing to play when you're in exhaustion there. Doesn't really stop exhaustion, but it lets you get some more cards back. This card also going into your deck, it means so your opponent doesn't necessarily know when this is coming back into your hand, so it can be a little sneaky. So pretty good card around. And finally, Payback Time. During combat, if you lost a combat this turn, this card's value is 5 instead. So 2 great uses for this. Number 1, obviously, is a second attack. This is good there. If you lost that first attack, it's one you gained an action on. Being able to throw this out there and making it a 5 the second time around is great. Additionally, if you get double attacked, you can at least make sure that the second time you get hit that you're defending with a 5. Because if you take some damage on that first one, you'll be able to throw a 5 out there for your next defense, which, as we said, 5 defenses are great, but also 5 attacks are good. So, what do we got going on with Raph? Well, we can see that Raph is going to be a lot of throwing out stuff on the first attack to lose, and then what may happen to some players may decide to just take attacks if they are a first turn attack. Or a lot of players may decide to just take the first attack thinking that you're going to throw something low. So you got to mix it up a little bit and not always throw low on that first attack. Additionally, if you're in a position where you can double attack them, you could throw something big the first attack, throw low on the second one, and then have a third attack, which could be something bigger there. So there's a lot of different ways to do it there. That you've got to play around it. They got to play around it. Got to play around it with both Raph and Casey. But he's going to be a really fun fighter. Going to be able to do a lot of cool stuff, and we'll see. It's going to be exciting to see where he lands in the meta. So if you found this video interesting, give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down to the comment section and let me know what you think down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure you catch all the videos I post so you don't miss anything. This is Jeremy with Point Extra G, and we'll see you around next time.